What's up, guys? Brian here. I'm standing next to Historify. Historify, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. So we're going to play a game. It's called Warrior or Not. Now, the point of this game is that I'm going to show you a clip, and in this clip, you got to determine if this guy's a warrior or not.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Let's do it.
But first, before I show it to you, can you give me the definition of a warrior?
Man, a warrior, someone that does some crazy stuff online but can't do it on land. That's a warrior.
Can you give me an example?
For example, if someone gets plus 50 points for a kill before their gun even starts shooting, that's a warrior.
Awesome. All right, so here's the clip.
Wall that, free that,
Tell him out this.
Yeah, that's a warrior. That's most definitely a warrior. That did not just happen. No, that didn't just happen. Yeah, he's definitely the best. Yep. I'd have to agree with that.
So what makes him a warrior?
I mean, just everything. He got, what, 4 kills, 3 kills, 2 through smoke, and 1 on the right side of front motel bus, and he didn't even see him, and he had like 3 bullets left. That's a warrior. You don't get 3-4 kills like that with a full clip. It just doesn't happen.
All right, Historify, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Orbit_Historify. That's about it.
All right, thanks, Historify.
All right, that kid was definitely a warrior. A 1-clip quad with the Remington playing 3-on-4. You need a little host advantage. Well, from warrior or not to our new interview segment, let's bring on a very special guest today, OpTic Gaming, making news once again. And joining me right now, we have Hector Rodriguez, better known as Big OpTic Hecz. How you doing today, Hecz?
I'm doing well. How are you, Puckett? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, brother. You've been all smiles all day long, and it's for a good reason. Talk to me through your news sponsorship that you guys announced on Twitter a little bit ago.
Yeah, so we just announced the us sponsoring Joe Lau. You know, he's a good friend of ours. I've met him several times. The first time I met him was at PAX. I believe it was like 2012. 2012. I was introduced to him by Woody's Gamertag, and then I hung out with them for a little bit with him, FPS Russia, and I'm name dropping all these YouTubers. But we ended up meeting up a couple of months after the same year at League of Legends here in Living Legends here in Joliet, Illinois, for a paintball event. And you know, we've always had this sort of, you know, he likes Call of Duty, he likes OpTic, and we felt it was time for us to show our support to him. He's always showed support to OpTic, and he's always tweeting us whenever we're in competitions. He and I, you know, tweet back and forth. So it was about time that we stepped up and we did something, and for me, it's like almost like a goal, or I was gonna say dream come true, but it was more like an accomplishment, right? When OpTic first started to take off in 2010, I told my brother, I'm like, man, one day we're gonna, like, wouldn't it be cool to have our logo on one of the fighters' shorts? Like, I think that'd be like pretty awesome, right? My brother and I are big UFC fans, and you know, a couple of months ago, I was sitting down with Will and Matt, and we were like, I think it's time, dudes. I think it's time. So we kept it quiet. I told Joe, I'm like, hey, please don't mention anything. You know, let's keep it quiet until the day of, just so we can have that advantage. You know, so nobody else can swoop in and try to do what we've done. But now that it's out of the bucket, all esports organizations out there, feel free to join me, support your favorite fighters, and you know, let's have some fun.
Wow. So OpTic Gaming is sponsoring a UFC, a mixed martial arts athlete.
Yeah.
And Joe Lozon, he has been one of my favorites since I first saw this guy on The Ultimate Fighter. One of the smartest fighters that's out there. I don't know if many of you guys at home know much about him, but this guy is a college-educated, a very intelligent guy who is not afraid to get bloody. He never taps out. I mean, he has a 23-10 record, but in the UFC, he's 10-6. But most importantly here, I was looking up his stats on UFC.com today. He's tied with Anderson the Spider Silva for most all-time of the night awards. What does that mean? Well, he has 6 submissions of the night. He has 5 fights of the night and 1 knockout of the night, including the 2012 Fight of the Year with Jim Miller. So how did you decide on Joe? Was this someone that you had like in the back of your mind for a while now?
Always.
How did this decision come about?
Yeah, so it's an easy decision for me, right? every single time I talk to him, he's as passionate for UFC as we are for Call of Duty. And you win some, you lose some, right? But the fact that this guy is willing to put his body on the line and take a punch, that's what made me be like, man, this is our dude, right? He's just like us, right? We don't win all the time. We win sometimes, when it matters. And I figure, you know what? If anybody can take a punch, is us, right? We're in the limelight every single day, and sometimes, our little mistakes or our little faults that we have are always going to be, they're going to be over dramatized in a sense that everybody's gonna always nitpick at that. So I figure, you know what, we can take a punch as well. And I figure, you know what? Why not team up with somebody who can take a punch as well? And this dude gets bloody, man. He always goes hard. We always go hard. He has a passion for that, and I will always bet on the person that has the passion for what he does. Like, he loves what he does, and we do as well. So we figured, it's a perfect combination.
Well, I know he hasn't been streaming. He does have an MLG.TV stream right here on our network, but he hasn't been streaming because he's getting ready for tonight. Tonight is the night he will be fighting on Fox Sports 1 up in Foxwoods. It's a casino up here in New York. But Joe Lozon versus the Maverick, and this is going to be one of his tougher fights. His opponent 11-1 in his mixed martial arts career. I know I'm going to be tuning in for this battle. Hector, I know, of course, you'll be watching with the boys. You think he's pulling it out tonight?
I'm obviously rooting for him, right? I know that his opponent is pretty tall, lanky, and he's very crafty too. So I think that the Lozon is if he sticks to his game plan, I'm pretty sure that he's going to be able to at least give us an amazing show, which is what we here at OpTic like to do as well.
Well, I love it, man. Congratulations on the sponsorship, a huge announcement, and for an esports team to be coming in to UFC space and supporting their athletes.
Yeah.
We've made it, my friend. We've made it. So, Hector, not only are you making moves with the UFC team, you're also doing a lot of stuff with some of the new publishers that are going to be releasing some titles. And, of course, your friends over at Red Bull. We saw your announcement on Facebook that you're going to a Red Bull boot camp for a full month. What can you tell us about this experience? What are you guys going to be doing, and who's going to be involved?
All right, so the OpTic Gaming team, Nate Shot, Scumpy, Clayster, and Proofy are all going to be boot camping in LA at the Red Bull offices. So what they're going to be doing for the entire month is they're going to be training like athletes. They're going to be eating what athletes would eat through nutritionists. They're going to teach them how to prepare the meals, and then they're going to move on to themselves. Flamesword is going to be the captain, obviously, and he's the one that's going to be pretty much in charge of leading that boot camp in a sense. And then Big Timer, Embos, and myself are going to be flying back and forth. I have a couple of meetings out there. They just want to come on and have fun, and I'm going to have some fun with them. But yeah, it's very exciting. It's always good when Red Bull, obviously they sponsor Nate Shot, but they also show a lot of support for OpTic, and that's, just because they're not on our jerseys doesn't mean that our relationship with them is not what it should be. And they've always taken care of us the way that we should be taken care of. So I'm very happy with what's happening next month.
And right now we're taking a look at some of Flamesword's highlights from his YouTube channel. Of course, that is OpTic FS. Talk to me about the skydiving. We've seen it all over Twitter. What is the backstory to this? Why are these guys on the skydive grind?
All right, so originally we were all supposed to be skydiving, right? It was supposed to be Matt. It was supposed to be Big Timer. It was supposed to be me, Embos, and little by little, everybody started declining, right? They're like, yeah, we don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. Mike from the get-go was like, yes, please, please, please get me up there. So he's always been like, look at him. I mean, he's going nuts in there. And so the reason behind this, it's one of the most coolest things that we have had the opportunity to do, and I am happy to announce that. All right, so let me tell you the story before I get to that.
Yeah, story time.
So behind the reason that we're doing that with Red Bull is because there was a partnership announced today between Activision, Bungie, and Red Bull, right? Because of the game Destiny. So Red Bull has the Red Bull Air Force, right? Super humans, right? So amazing men that are part of the Air Force, or I don't know if they're retired now, but they are going to jump out, and we're going to jump with them on Monday, this upcoming Monday, the 8th. We're going to be jumping out of a plane with them. We're going to skydive down to a secret location still to be announced, and we're gonna be handing out the first games of Destiny to the public. So that's
on Monday. You're handing out Destiny titles after jumping out of an airplane.
Yeah, we're literally gonna swing down and pass out the games. So I'm super psyched about that. Like this is a type of relationship that we like to have, right? Like, yeah, we don't have a title sponsorship with Red Bull, but the fact that Red Bull is willing to take OpTic out to something as cool as this, jumping on an airplane, right? One, awesome. Skydiving with the Air Force, even more awesome, right? And then handing out the Destiny games to our fans, you can't beat it.
I have to say, man, one of the coolest things I've ever done in my career is going to the Red Bull Air Race, and that was just when they flew us out to San Francisco to watch the event. You get to be a part of the event jumping out of an airplane. Have you jumped before? Is this your first skydive? Okay.
No, I did it last year, and that's the reason why I didn't want to do it this time, right? Like, I figure, I'm like, I'm a dad, I have responsibilities, but I checked in with Jude, my fiance, and I'm like, hey, is the life insurance policy all good? We ready to go? Yeah. So I'm like, all right, we're tandem jumping out of this airplane on Monday and experiencing this thing. Above all, experiencing this with my friends, right? So with literally my closest friends in this world. So hopefully we won't all die together.
Well, I'm excited for you guys. It sounds like a lot is going on. Before I let you go, I know the chat would just kill me if I didn't ask the hard questions. Lots of drama started early last week. Karma announcing he doesn't want to play with EG. We've seen all kinds of rumors, all different conspiracies. Is OpTic affected in any way? And what do you think is going to come out of all of this once all the dust settles?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's gonna come out. The only thing that is affecting us at the moment is the fact that we're on the very tail end of the game. And just as it was last year, you get to that point in the game where everybody, like the learning curve is no longer there, right? Like everybody's as good as everybody else. And a lot of things are going to come into effect, right? The only thing that people are going to be struggling with, or on my team at least, is the fact that they put so much pressure on themselves to perform well every single time. I mean, obviously they're professional gamers and they should. But some of the things that they say to themselves, they say to each other when it comes to online competitions is just like a little bit too much. And obviously, the Twitter rants that some of the fans and then a lot of the haters, like to chime in on is the fact that we're not performing well on LAN. I mean, I'm sorry, on LAN and online, but on LAN, you get to the tail end of the game, and it's usually going to be this way, right? It's usually going to be a toss up. I mean, if you look at the online statistics or the online stats as they stand right now, like EG is what I think is like 9th.
Yeah, they got bumped to 9th last night.
Yeah, so when a team like EG gets bumped down on a certain platform, we're talking an online platform, then that gives you a little bit of a clue of how accurate the actual thing is. So I don't know. I don't put too much mind into it. Obviously, I'm not a professional gamer, although I play like one. I like to tell them to not put so much pressure on themselves, to take it one day at a time, one match at a time. Losing is part of the game. So. It is what it is. We'll continue to do what we do.
And final question for you. How proud are you of OpTic Nation? I know when you first brought on this squad, a lot of people were questioning the move. Can Killa work under the OpTic brand? Well, it seems that everything is paying off. These guys are currently holding on to the number 3 spot in the COD League, challenging for that number 1 position. How far is OpTic Nation going to go before Ghost is done?
Hopefully to a championship. And to touch back a little bit on whether or not Killa was going to be able to behave himself, I don't think that he's not that bad, And if when we first brought him on, I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna let you do you, right? I love the way you are. I love how sometimes you're out there and sometimes you're right where you should be, but sometimes you have these moments of amazing, comedy, whether you like to do it or not. Like smartest, I believe, and I mean this. I think he was right when he said that he is the best S&D player in the world, and I base that solely on how passionate he is about the game, how willing he is to sit on hours on end, just trying to figure out different strategies, and it pays off, right? You can tell, and whether or not him behaving is there's really nothing, no bad behavior. Obviously, there are social norms that he now, that we talked about that things he shouldn't say or do. But but above all, I don't control him. I don't you know, I'm not a puppet master, right? I just talk to him before anything else, and I'm like, look, man, I love how you are, right? You are a killer. You're one of my favorite players, and I want you to continue to do that. Just, you know, try to keep an eye out for certain things, and he's not dumb, right? He knows what to do. So it wasn't that tough, or it wasn't like a work in progress, right? Like he just needed a little bit of a tiny little bit of a guidance on certain things that not to say, because trying to cage him in and trying to make him not be him would be a detriment to Call of Duty and the scene.
All right, well, Hector, thank you so much for coming on. Once again, congratulations on the Joe Lozon sponsorship. We'll get to see him fight tonight. Guys, It's a free fight. You guys can all catch it on Fox Sports 1 a little bit later on. Enjoy your time jumping out of airplanes on Monday, and, of course, the time out at Red Bull. Is that starting next month? When does this begin?
We are traveling this Sunday. I think. I'm not sure. We'll keep you guys posted on Twitter. And before I get off, I just want to let you guys know this, right? To everybody out there, we're not done.
They're not done. Just getting started. Hecz, thank you for coming on, guys. That is going to do it for our normal ESR show. But don't worry, I'm going to do some bonus gameplay. We got some Friday drinks in the house here at MLG. We are going to get some Guacamelee on. If you enjoy some side-scrolling puzzle games with some challenges and a whole lot of button mashing, you're going to enjoy this one. It's on Steam right now for just $13. We'll be back with more gameplay here on the ESR.